Okay. Let's see. I think we were at this point. Okay. The path around here looks solid, so let's break for food now. Yes, that's probably a good idea. Oh, finally food! The place being what it was, I could only use the smaller portable stove, so something that could be quickly made would be better. Let's just make steaks for everyone, they all like it anyway. Once the wyvern steaks were cooked up, I woke up Sui and we all ate. Right from breakfast, everyone was gorging themselves on several steaks. I couldn't really stomach steaks so early in the morning, so I ate something else. I used the black bread to make a ham and egg sandwich that I ate with coffee. We have made a lot of progress toward the fuller boss since we have been moving all night. At this rate, we should see it before noon. How quick! We are going to defeat the floor boss quickly and move on to the next floor. Wow, Fel really does just want to get out of here. Ah, right. I keep getting attacked by creepy monsters like huge fish with beards and slimy snakes. They weren't much, but I couldn't take how they looked. Dora-chan said with a disgusted look on his face. So the bearded fish is like a catfish, and I guess the slimy snake would be an eel? While we headed for the floor boss in this swamp area, I came to understand what kind of monsters Dora-chan was talking about. As we proceeded along the path, a huge catfish jumped out of the swamp and tried to eat us with its huge open mouth. Now let me just make sure this is recording. Just in case. Okay. Whoa. Before the huge catfish even got to us, Dora-chan opened up a hole in its body. It's this thing right here. There are so many of them during the night. Just like Dora-chan said, that thing is creepy. Even though it looked like a catfish, its mouth was filled with sharp teeth. There was also that. When I followed Dora-chan's line of sight prompted by his words, I saw a long and thin, snake-like monster raising its head to attack us with a round mouth that was packed full of layers of sharp teeth. This one's huge, too! It did in fact look like an eel, but more like a lamprey eel than anything else. And the lamprey eel was also charged into by Dora-chan before it got to us, and its body was torn into pieces. This one was all over the place at night, too. Yeah, Dora-chan's right. They're creepy as hell. After that, we would periodically get attacked by the same two monsters, and Dora-chan would defeat them every time. As for Fel, he didn't try to fight, as it seemed he was concentrating on getting us out as fast as possible. And since we were putting a priority on speed, Sui was staying in the bag. We proceeded quickly, and just as Fel said, we reached the floor boss before noon. That must be the floor boss. Fel looked forward. Ahead of us was... That? Isn't that too big? It was a crocodile that was at least twice as big as a tour bus. When I appraised it... Gustav. Gustav? That's like a name, not a creature. An S-ranked monster. Of course, this one would also be S-ranked, since the two floor bosses before this were also S-ranked. Still, though, that thing's huge. Can we actually fight that? Great, let us go. Yeah! Yeah! Sui will fight too. Wait a second. Hey, I'm still on you! Hey, Fel, I'm still riding you! I could leave you here, but you will be attacked by monsters. Also, despite that thing's looks, it's fairly fast. You will be eaten before you are alone. Just spare me getting eaten, please. Fine, let's just go. After hearing me say that, Fel ran off toward Gustav and jumped on its back. Dora, this thing's hide is tough. Aim for its eyes. Got it. Gustav raised its head and tried to bite Dora-chan, who was flying around it. Even I could hear the sound of its teeth hitting each other with every chomp. Fel, who had jumped onto Gustav's back, fired wind magic at the monster's head. And Fel's wind magic cut deeply into Gustav's head. Dora, now, aim for the eyes. 5 pillars of ice with pointed tips appeared around Dora-chan. And... Yep, bye-bye. The pillars of ice stabbed into Gustav's eyes one after the other. Gustav thrashed around. I clung onto Fel for dear life so that I wouldn't be thrown off. Ah, Sui! Sui smoothly moved near Gustav's mouth and went inside it. After another cry out of the rampaging Gustav, it stopped and fell over, no power left in its body. I thought I could hear sizzling sounds when a hole opened up in Gustav's belly. From inside the hole, Sui popped out. Sui went inside the belly and went pew-pew lots. So Sui went inside its stomach and it sprayed acid bullets everywhere. Yeah, I get it, since even strong monsters can't train their innards. Acid bullets from inside its stomach. By some meanings, Sui would be quite the villain. An acid attack from inside it, huh? It was an enemy, but even I am feeling sorry for it. Man, acid in its stomach. You're real cruel sometimes, you know that, Sui? But Fel and Dora-chan started muttering quietly. You guys shouldn't be talking. Sui, well done. Sui seemed happy by being complimented as it jumped into my chest. After Gustav disappeared, I found it left behind its hide and a huge magic stone as well as a fang and its spine. After picking up these drops, we went to the only piece of dry land on the floor that was placed behind the boss. Well then, let's get moving. Indeed, letting some magic flow into the circle, we teleported to the 29th floor. Right after a swamp, it's this. What lay before our eyes after teleporting was a wide desert. This dungeon's layout is quite interesting. Phil, don't just tidy this all up by saying it's interesting. After a forest, it's a swamp and then a desert. Each right after the other. That's way too harsh, man. Not only that, but they're all filled with high-ranking monsters. And it's really hot. The heat of the sun beat down on me relentlessly. It would be obvious if one thought of this as a desert, but this place was actually a dungeon. I had no idea how it worked out like this, but there was even a sun in the sky. Yeah, I kind of wonder that myself. This place is quite hot. So hot. It's hot. All three of my familiars were shriveling in the heat. I'll be erecting a barrier around us all. By doing that, I can shield us from the heat somewhat. Huh? Really? Indeed, I cannot do anything about the sun's rays, but inside the barrier, it should become somewhat cool. Oh man, barriers are super nice. However, this heat is still significant. Do not expect it to suddenly become comfortable. Just think of it as being better than making do without. I see Fel saying that it'll still be pretty hot even with the barrier, so for now let's hydrate before setting off. Oh, maybe having some sports drinks or something to try and prevent heat stroke would be best. I opened up my online supermarket and bought a large amount of water and sports drinks. Since there didn't seem to be any way to defend against the sun's rays, I also thought it would be best to put on a hat or something with a hood. When I checked, there was something perfect in the listing, a UV parka with a hood. It was perfect for my purposes, so I bought it as well. It looks like Fel's barrier will relieve the heat a little, but we should still hydrate ourselves before we go so that we don't succumb to the heat. I served everyone some sports drinks in a dish. I also put on the parka I bought and downed some sports drink myself. We are going to go straight for this floor's boss again. Yeah, this place seems huge, too. There was always sand, and more sand as far as the eye could see. It was probably the safest option to go straight after the boss by relying on Fel's powers of presence perception, but just like we've been doing up until now. Areas like this get scarily cold at night. At any rate, we have to hurry. Hey, get on. Yeah, I thought it would get cold in the desert. The best thing to do here really will be to listen to Fel and just get on. And so I did as Fel said and climbed onto his back. Sui was inside my shoulder bag and Dora-chan was flying around as a lookout. We put all our efforts into one thing, getting through the desert. Hey, something's coming at us. When I looked over to where Dora-chan was facing, I saw many reddish-black dots. What the heck is that? As I was staring, the reddish-black dots grew steadily closer. When they were finally within sight range, I gawked at their forms. It's a swarm of scorpions! A swarm of almost 100 of these scorpions that seemed to be over a meter tall were fast approaching us. Those are sand scorpions, are they not? If those are here... Suddenly, a huge scorpion the size of a car appeared from the sand in front of us. Ah! As I thought, however, something like you will not be able to stand in my way, fool. Lightning fell on the huge scorpion. It's dead. What kind of monster was it? Giant sand scorpion, an A-ranked monster. It was done in by one shot from Fel, but the scorpion was an A-ranked monster. Wait, what happened to the army of scorpions? Weren't there like 100 of them? When we looked over to where the swarm blast was, they had scattered and were running. As long as we defeat the one controlling them, these scorpions will not attack. I see. After the giant sand scorpion disappeared, I picked up its drops, a magic stone, and a poison needle, and put them in my item box. We once again started off through the desert. Fel, who was running, suddenly stopped. Around 10 meters ahead of us, a huge earthworm-like monster burst out of the sand. What the hell? When I appraised it, sandworm, an A-ranked monster. The sandworm raised its head, opened its round mouth with several layers of sharp teeth wide, and made like it was going to eat us. I'll get it, Dora-chan said as he charged into the sandworm. And thud. The sandworm fell over with a new hole in its body. One worm cooked and ready. Cooked and ready? Dora-chan, well, whatever, you killed it. The sandworm dropped its magic stone and a sharp tooth. Having retrieved those, we started traveling through the desert again. While we traveled, we were attacked by giant sand scorpions and their armies, as well as sandworms several times, but each time Fel and Dora-chan beat them down completely. Sui must be weak to heat, as it had spent the entire time asleep in my bag. The sun is setting. Moving through the desert at night is not smart. Let us make camp around here. At Fel's suggestion, we decided to set up camp. As the sun set, the heat reversed, and it started to get colder and colder. As I had suspected, deserts at night get frighteningly cold. Just as it was during the day, having the barrier around will help defend against changing temperatures a little, but outside the barrier it will be frighteningly cold. Due to that influence, even the inside of the barrier will be cold, although it will not be as bad as being outside it. So we have to prepare ourselves for at least some degree of cold, huh? If that's the case. I opened my online supermarket and bought everything that might look like it would defend against the cold. They carried pocket heaters, thick underquilts and comforters, blankets, and even a thick sweater, so I bought them for my own use. I would have been best if they had a down jacket or something, but in the end that was too much to ask for. I laid out a larger amount of cardboard since the area was so sandy, and then I put down the thick underquilt. On top of that, I put on both mine and Phil's futons. Then I added blankets and comforters. I'll cook food, so while you're waiting, go sit in the futons. It's cold. When the veil of darkness descended, it became colder and colder just as Phil had said it would. My breath came out in white wisps. As a defense against the cold, I put on the thick sweater I bought over the UV parka I was cloaked in. It didn't look great, but it was better than being cold. Great, now let's start cooking. It'll be nice to make something quick, but let's make bell pepper and beef rice bowls. I can just use the tare they made for that and it'll be easy. But then I'll need to steam some rice too. When it comes to something simple but still filling, it really does have to be rice bowls. And I have to think of tomorrow's meals too, so I'll definitely want to make extra rice. I have lots of rice that I haven't cooked yet, so for now let's just steam some rice. Washing and soaking the rice was a bit of a waste of time, so I just shortened the process by using warm water. With the magic stove, I used all 4 burners on it with clay pots to steam rice. While that was happening, I bought the ingredients I would need for the dish if my skill. It's just peppers and bamboo shoots boiled in water, right? I'll also need the bell peppers and beef tare, and when it's this cold, I should also make a soup, huh? I bought some freeze-dried egg soup. First, cut some bloody hornbull meat into thin strips, and do the same for the boiled peppers and bamboo shoots. In the meantime, the rice I'd been cooking was thoroughly steamed, so I shut them, clay pot and all, in my item box. With the burners free, I used them to make even more rice and continue making the bell peppers and beef. Oil up a heated frying pan and saute the bloody hornbull meat until it changes color. When that happens, add in the peppers and bamboo shoots and continue cooking. Then, throw in the store-bought bell peppers and beef tare and mix it in well amongst all the ingredients while continuing to saute the pan and the dish is complete. For my familiars portions, I molded the freshly cooked rice into a deep dish before piling on lots of the bell peppers and beef to complete the bowl. At the same time, I also served the egg soup. Everyone is done. All 3 of them happily chowed down on the meal, which was giving off steam into the air. They even gulped down the egg soup. This hot drink really hits the spot given this cold. Yeah, it's really warming up my body. It's so good! Thanks to Phil's barrier, the temperature hadn't dropped below 0, but it really was cold. As soon as I recognized the cold, it felt even colder, and I couldn't suppress a shiver. Let's eat while I'm still feeling a little warm. Man, the thick flavor of the oyster sauce's umami is irresistible. The peppers and bamboo shoots also give the dish a really good snap. This is really prodding my appetite. Drinking the egg soup is also really relaxing, and it really warms up the body. After Fel and Sui had multiple extra servings and were satisfied, I finally caught a breath. I talked with Fel while enjoying some after-meal coffee. Fel, how long until we see the floor boss? This floor is large. We might somehow be able to get there by the evening the day after tomorrow, I think. But if the sun sets, then we have to worry about the cold. Depending on the situation, we might have to delay fighting the boss until the next day. What Fel's saying is correct. With the day being as hot as it is and the nights being this cold, the difference in temperature is too severe. Just that it is more than enough to shave away at our stamina, but if the fight were to drag on and the sun were to set, then we're able to be like this somehow thanks to Fel's barrier, but even inside it's only about 1 or 2 degrees. Thinking about the cold, it's way too dangerous to be fighting once it gets dark. And since that's the case, it's obviously way safer to fight the next day instead. Well, we can only decide that kind of thing once we actually get near the floor boss anyway. Indeed, that day we all slept huddled together. Fel seemed to have taken a liking to the blanket, so he slept with the blanket on top of the underquilt. Sui was sleeping soundly in between Fel and I. And Dora-chan was fond of the pocket warmer, it seemed, so he was sleeping with one of the adhesive ones attached to his stomach. I attached one of the adhesive ones to my back and slept using Fel's stomach as a pillow. Just like that, we spent our first cold night in the desert huddled together. Day dawned on the desert floor. For breakfast, I fixed a simple bloody hornbull steak bowl for everyone else, and for myself using store-bought seaweed and fish. I made a small rice ball. After hydrating thoroughly using sports drinks, we once again started traveling through the desert. Just like yesterday, we were attacked by sandworms and giant sand scorpions with their armies in tow, but we defeated them all, collected their drops, and kept moving. We broke for lunch in the middle of travel, and I made a refreshing grated radish-flavored pork steak bowl, and I splurged on some slightly expensive ice cream using my skill to serve as a dessert. Oh, this thing is cold and delicious. I was just about to fed up with this heat, but this helps. So cold. It's bringing me back to life. It's cold and sweet and delicious. Sui wants to eat more. Everyone was silent because of the heat, but it seemed like they recovered some of their energy after eating the cold, sweet ice cream. After a small post-meal break, we once again set off through the harsh desert. Some sort of huge snake monster is coming, said Dora-chan, who was keeping a lookout. Following Dora-chan's line of sight, I noticed a huge snake about 3 meters in length slithering sideways at us. Death Sidewinder, an A-ranked monster. An A-ranked monster, huh? I'll do it. And the Death Sidewinder's head flew off. Dora-chan let loose with wind magic and cut it off, it seemed. Oh, nice work, Dora-chan. It's not that hard. The Death Sidewinder dropped a magic stone and its venom sac as well as its skin. I picked them up and stuffed them in my item box. From then on, we moved ever forward through the desert while attacking giant sand scorpions and their armies, sandworms and Death Sidewinders while picking up their drops. After once again camping through the cold desert night, we once more made for the floor boss while defeating monsters and collecting drops. I sense a strong presence coming from ahead of us. It is probably the floor boss. We arrived earlier than I thought we would. There is still some time before sunset. Let us continue on and fight the boss now. Just as Val finished saying that, the floor boss showed itself. And the sand gathered together and formed a humanoid monster that looked to be 20 meters tall. Giant sand golem, an S-ranked monster. After the 26th, 27th, and 28th floors, of course, this one would also be S-ranked. Dora, Sui, let's go. As if answering Fel's call, Dora-chan's body glowed a burning red as he wrapped himself in fire. Sui, who was in my bag, also jumped out in response to Fel. Of course, I retreated to the back. I'm going in. Dora-chan, wrapped in fire magic, charged into the giant sand golem. He opened a hole in the thing, but sand shifted and gathered immediately and closed it up. Huh? Dora-chan charged into the giant sand golem once more. Dora, there is no point. That thing is made of sand. The hole will just fix itself. A giant sand golem was just a moving pile of sand. Even if it lost parts, it would just fix itself immediately. True, like this, Dora-chan's attack when he charges into things is probably not really useful here. Water. Dora-chan, Sui, soak that thing in water, I yelled. Sand that's taken on water won't move or repair itself like dry, smooth sand. Got it. Water, right? Master, got it. Both Dora-chan and Sui released water magic at the giant sand golem. Once the giant sand golem was thoroughly soaked, Fel, hit it with your lightning magic. I know. Boom. A flash of lightning struck the giant sand golem's head. And thud. The giant sand golem fell over, throwing up sand. I lost sight of everyone in the cloud of sand. Fel, Dora-chan, Sui, you guys straight? Are you guys alright? Of course I am. Yeah, I'm fine. Master, Sui is here. The sand settled down and I could once again see everyone. They were covered in sand and had turned a little white by it. Everyone's white, all covered in sand. Man, you say that, but you are too. Oh, I am. I jumped to shake off the sand that I was covered in. Fel shook himself until he blew it all away. Dora-chan performed airborne acrobatics to shake himself off, and Sui sort of rippled the surface of his body, repelling the sand. While we were ridding ourselves of the sand, the giant sand golem disappeared. And as for the dropped items, a huge-ish magic stone, as well as 5 diamonds of varying sizes. As expected of an S-ranked monster. Master, there's something here. It seemed like Sui found something. I approached Sui, who was bouncing up and down. Then I found a treasure chest half buried in the sand. Sui, well done. For now I appraised the treasure chest. A treasure chest that has been set up so that when opened, it will spray out poison gas, and right afterwards it will release wind magic. Oh, it's poison gas again. Looks like the treasure chests here all have that, huh? Don't know whether to call that mean or what. I mean, it's gotta be okay to have a non-trapped treasure chest every once in a while, dungeon. Know what I'm saying? This treasure chest uses wind magic right after the poison gas, right? So that means it's either to spray the gas around or something like a wind cutter. Given this dungeon, it might actually be both. Well, whatever. I have both perfect defense and the ability to nullify status effects. Now then, let's open this thing. As soon as I opened the treasure chest, it sprayed out a reddish-black gas. While it was choking on the large amount of gas, gusts of wind were raised. And blades of wind were deflected by my perfect defense. So it was both. Alright then, what's important is what's inside. What's inside, I say. Peeking into the treasure chest, I saw a necklace, a cloth bag, and also a gemstone. I appraised each one. Necklace of antidotes. A magic item that nullifies any and all poisons. Magic bag medium. A magic bag as large as 20 large jute bags. Yellow diamond. A yellow diamond cut into large teardrop shape. This is kinda I don't need this necklace since I already had the ability to nullify status effects, and this magic bag medium is useless since I have an infinite item box. Well, I'll probably just sell this stuff, but I can just think that over at my own pace once we get back up. Hey, are you done appraising? Let us leave quickly. Coming. Using the magic circle drawn on a rock to move, we teleported to the dungeon's lowest floor, the 30th. The 30th floor, which we were teleported to, was a semicircular room surrounded by stone walls. It was around 300 meters in diameter. Across the room from us was a huge, blackish, rhino-like monster with a horn. It was around the size of a large trailer. Its cry made me flinch. What the heck is that? All the bosses up until now have been straight up monstrous, but this thing's on a whole other level. That is a behemoth. Everyone proceed with caution. Never mind. I'm thinking of something else then. I was thinking of the thing with the big old eyeball with the tentacles and the eye lasers and everything. Everyone proceed with caution. That was indeed the behemoth, just as Fel said. But still, why are we already in the boss battle? I thought we'd be moving toward a boss through the huge floor like we've been doing all this time. It's like, you should have told me earlier that we'd just be flung at the behemoth. That kind of thing. Isn't this exactly the time where we should have been beefed up with food from my world? God damn it, there's no helping it now. The behemoth that was facing us raised its leg like a bull and seemed like it would charge us any second. It comes. And it's running at us. After the behemoth raised an ear-shattering cry and approached its footsteps shaking the earth. Dora, Sui, listen well. Both physical attacks like tackles and magic attacks do not work very well on behemoths. However, very well does not mean that they do not work at all. You only have to hit it with something strong enough that it cannot defend against. At any rate, focus on attacking. Do not let up until the behemoth falls over, understand? Attack. Just attack no matter what, huh? That sounds just fine. Let's do it. Sui will also go pew-pew a whole lot and get it with water magic, too. All three of my familiars moved toward the behemoth. And, whoa, crap, this stupid thing's way too hard. Dora wrapped himself in lightning magic and charged in, but was denied by the behemoth's tough hide. Huh? It's not melting. Sui used its specialty acid bullet, but while it did make a sound and there was smoke, it did not eat through the behemoth's tough hide, and it seemed like the boss didn't receive much damage at all. And Fel hits it with both lightning and wind magic continuously. The behemoth shook its body, unsettled, but it didn't seem to have taken too much damage. Dora, Sui, do not stop attacking. Okay, got it. Dora-chan used ice magic and shot spiked spirit pillars of ice at the behemoth. However, the ice pillars were torn to shards by the toughness of the behemoth's hide. And Sui continued to hit the behemoth with its acid bullets, and it was soaked in a huge amount of acid, leaving the behemoth smoking. Sui hit the behemoth with a water cutter on a part that was soaking due to the acid. Or smoking due to the acid. The tough hide of the behemoth, which had up until now been denying all the attacks from Fel, Sui, and Dora-chan, snapped open. The behemoth showed its rage by shaking its head and front legs. Its breath, it's gonna use its breath. Fel noticed first and warned everyone. Looking at it, the behemoth's mouth was shining red. Shit, that's bad. I'm right in the middle of that breath's path. I immediately jumped away from where I was and distanced myself from the breath's line of fire. An extremely hot blast of fire was released from the behemoth's mouth. Just like a flamethrower, the fire released from the behemoth's mouth was tremendous. Even I could feel the heat from where I was, which was quite far away. There wouldn't even be bones left if I got hit with that thing. Once the behemoth's breath... Damn it. Behemoth's breath stopped, Fel immediately threw out some orders. It seemed like the parts of its hide that have been hit with acid are weaker. Sui keeps soaking it in acid. Dora and I will attack the parts that have been covered with it. Let us cut this behemoth apart. Yeah. Sui go pew-pew lots. After quivering intensely for a small while, Sui became large, and then it started to shoot an extreme number of acid bullets at the behemoth. Pew, 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 pew. And towards that behemoth that had been covered in acid, Fel and Dora-chan let fly with their wind magic. The behemoth was cut apart. The behemoth let out an agonized cry, but Fel and Dora-chan didn't stop. They hit the thing with wind magic over and over. Sui, hit it with your acid bullet. At Fel's command, Sui shot another huge blast of acid bullet at the behemoth's large body. Pew, 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 pew. The acid bullets that Sui shot entered the wounds caused by Fel and Dora-chan, and the behemoth's cries echoed even louder. Bluish-white lightning crashed onto the behemoth, and thud. Bel's lightning magic became the finishing blow, and the behemoth fell over sideways. We did it! We won! Sui expressed his joy by bouncing on top of the behemoth's large body. Yahoo! We beat the behemoth! Dora-chan was happy enough to be doing spins and loops in the air. Of course we did. Fel looked really smug. Oh, you're all amazing! You just defeated one hell of a monster! You guys really are ridiculously strong. This really was amazing. I was wondering how they'd managed to defeat that monster of a beast, but I guess with their power combined, even a behemoth isn't a real threat. Or rather, by the end there, everyone was just beating on the behemoth as hard as they could with no mercy. I actually felt a little sorry for it. Well, seeing as how it's a dungeon monster, I guess it's supposed to be defeated anyway, I guess. Oh, the behemoth disappeared. I wonder what it dropped. Huh? There's an absolutely gigantic magic stone to hide and also some sort of really shiny, decorated, large treasure chest. I tried appraising it. Dungeon boss, treasure chest. A treasure chest that rarely drops upon defeating the dungeon's boss. It wasn't trapped. Oh, so treasure chests even drop when you defeat a dungeon boss, huh? Even though it's a treasure chest and it's not even trapped. How nice. Let's see, gotta hurry up and open this thing. There was a single sword in the chest. When I took it out, whoa, this sword's really heavy. For now, I appraised it. Magic sword Caladbog. A magic sword imbued with lightning magic made of adamantite. Some kind of ridiculous thing just popped up. Yeah, it's a magic sword, and even made out of adamantite. Oh, well, will this thing create a huge fuss if I let it out into the world? For now, let's just shut this in my item box. Yeah? What, the treasure chest isn't disappearing? It must be because the treasure chest is also a drop item. What with the gold work and gemstone decorations? This is going to be pretty expensive, too. Hey, I'm quite hungry over here. It's true, Sui is also hungry. I hurried to store all the behemoth drops in my item box, then turned to face everyone. Sui was now back to its original size. You're hungry? But won't another behemoth pop up or something? A dungeon boss does not come back that quickly. From my experience, there are some differences between dungeons, but at the very least it will not return for a week. I see. Yeah, he would know about this being over 1,000 years old and all. Wait, that's all well and good, but how do we get back up? Do we have to go back the way we came? Hey, Phil, how do we get back up? Just like we have been doing. If we put magic into the round pattern, we can go back to the surface. I see, so on the lowest floor you get teleported back to the beginning, huh? That's good. It really would suck if we had to go back the way we came. Hey, food is more important right now. Hurry up. Fine. Looks like everyone's more hungry than usual, huh? Something that I can make quickly, right? I have rice. Oh, don't I still have some shredded cabbage left over from when I was pre-cooking everything? If that's the case, I can make that. Salted onion-flavored pork bowls using store-bought salt tari. First and foremost, I bought the all-important salt tari with my skill. Oil up a heated frying pan and quickly grill some thinly cut orc general meat. Once the color of the meat changes, add in the store-bought salt tari and continue cooking while mixing the tari so it coats the meat. Pile and form the rice and lay a bed of shredded cabbage on top of that, then top with a generous serving of the meat. It's also a good idea to add wild sesame seeds or black pepper to your liking. There you go, eat up. When I served the food to my 3 familiars, everyone wordlessly started scarfing down their food. They must have been quite hungry. I mean, considering the battle they just went through, of course they were. Everyone finished quickly and immediately asked for more, so I quickly cooked another batch for them. Oh yeah, I sure ate. With that line, Dora-chan lay down with its limbs spread wide. It seemed like Belle and Sui were still not satisfied. I should eat too. The salt, tari, and pepper in the dish was working, but I wanted an even larger kick of spice, so I added some black pepper on top. Using the black peppercorns that came in a grinder I bought before, I ground pepper into my bowl. Yeah, it's great. The store-bought tari is so good. There's also the acidity of the lemon, so I can down the whole dish feeling refreshed. I could just make this tari myself, but it's really hard to get all the ingredients in time when I have no money. So the store-bought stuff like this is really convenient. The taste isn't even all that different. It's true that it really depends on taste, but the store-bought stuff is basically never outright bad. More. Yeah. With that, I was made to cook up many more servings for Fel and Sui. Wow, you two sure ate a lot, Fel and Sui. We did just fight a behemoth. Sui went pew-pew lots, so Sui was really hungry. Certainly, not to mention the fact that it was already evening when we left the 29th floor. Let's rest a bit, then go back up. Yeah, let's. Oops. Oh my, Dora-chan's already sleeping since he finished earlier. Dora-chan's already sleeping, it looks like. He must have been tired. If that's the case, then why not spend the night here and go up tomorrow? This is the lowest floor, so nothing other than the dungeon boss should appear. And now that the behemoth is defeated, this entire area is basically safe. If that's the case, then it might be a good idea to spend the night here. Looks like everyone's tired too. Then let's do that. I'll spread the bedding, so wait a little. That day, we spent the night on the lowest floor of a dungeon. According to Fel, there was no danger, so thanks to that, I managed to get my first peaceful night's sleep in a while. Chapter 6. I was taken to the Adventurers Guild. The night was over, and it was finally time to return to the surface. For breakfast, I ended up cooking dragon steak since Fel said that he wanted to eat it. Even though it was morning, I couldn't resist and had my fill of it. It was truly delicious. After a post-meal break, I guess we should go up now. Indeed. Dora-chan hugged onto my head from behind. Sui was nestled in my arms, and I was straddled on top of Fel. Taking the formation for teleportation, and Fel empowered the magic circle on the wall with his magic. After a moment's floating sensation, we found ourselves in a 4-tatami room with the rock walls on top of a magic circle drawn on the floor. Where's the exit? I had Fel stoop so I could get off. I have seen this before. In these cases, the exit opens when we get off this design. When I did as Fel said and stepped 1 foot off the magic circle, the rock walls opened with a low rumbling sound. Everyone left for the outside. The first natural sunlight in 10 days shone down on us. Now then, let's go back to the inn. I had asked to keep my room before I went down to the dungeon, so it should have been fine. When we exited from the door, it seemed like we came out of a door next to the normal dungeon entrance, and of course there was a huge crowd of people around. The soldiers that were guarding the dungeon entrance, as well as the adventurers that were lined up to enter the dungeon, were all staring at us with their mouths agape. I'd really appreciate it if you all didn't stare so much, though. I was hit by a really intense desire to run away. The smartest thing to do here would be just to hurry up and leave, right? Let's go, I said that to Fel and Dora-chan and had Sui enter my bag before trying to walk off toward the inn. Oh, wait a second! One of the soldiers at the entrance tried to talk to me. Why did you come out of there? That's... Obviously because we defeated the Behemoth on the lowest floor. It's obvious you shouldn't have said that, Fel. In these cases, you just have to lie and get through the situation. Once Fel uttered those words, everyone started making a huge fuss as if we'd poked a beehive. Anyway, just get a guild employee here. No, it needs to be the guildmaster. That's right, go get the guildmaster. Hurry, hurry. It's looking like I won't be able to leave until the guildmaster comes. I mean, when I try to leave, the soldiers tell me to stay and everything. After a while, I heard a familiar voice. Makoda! Elrond, wonder if you would refrain from calling my name in such a loud voice, please. Makoda! Elrond was waving his arms while calling out to me in a loud voice. I knew you could do it, Makoda. Elrond excitedly grabbed my hand and started shaking it fervently. Ah, wait, Elrond, you're hurting my hand. But not being able to see Dora-chan was a little... I tried to go down the dungeon several times, but... Huh? You tried to do that? That'd just be annoying, though. The sub-guildmaster was really firm about stopping me, so I gave up on that, though. Of course. The sub-guildmaster? That kind of chubby, balding old man? Good job, sub-guildmaster. Anyway, I want to hear all about this, so let's hurry up to the Adventurers Guild. Now, let's go, hurry. In the end, we weren't allowed to go back to the inn and were instead taken by Elrond to the Adventurers Guild. Taken by Elrond, we were now in his room inside the Adventurers Guild. So, how was it? How was it? Didn't you see the Behemoth too, Elrond? Yes, I did, but not the drop items or treasure chests, right? Well, that's true. But there's way too much of that stuff. I still haven't sorted through all of it, so I have no idea just how much of everything I have. Well, that's true, but there's so much. I see. That's good news for us, too. That dungeon drops a lot of hides up to the 21st floor, as well as from the 22nd to the 25th floor after that. It was exactly as Elrond said. I was currently in possession of an enormous number of hides, furs, and pelts. To tell you the truth, I want you to sell it all to the Adventurers Guild. This is a dungeon city, after all. The demand for monster hides that can become armor is really high. Not only that, but if it's from the dungeon, it'd be really tough. I see, leather armor, huh? I have so many orc, ogre, troll, and minotaur skins that I can't even count them all. If the guild wants them, by all means, please take them all. It's not like I need them. I think you can only start getting decent things out of treasure chests after the 20th floor, but how was it? I also remember that there are Spriggans that drop gems if you beat them too. If you have any gems or magic items, we'd like to buy those too. As one would expect out of someone who'd gone all the way to the Behemoth, he knows a lot. There are several treasure chests, and I have their contents. There's also some mimics, so I have some treasure chests themselves. There's also a lot of gems. I'm not a woman, so I have no interest in gems. If they want them, then just sell all of them. Although I should think about selling the magic items first, since there might be something useful like the magic recovery ring that I don't plan to sell. There were some treasure chests after the 26th floor, too, although the 26th and 27th floors were forest, and we couldn't really explore all of it. The 20th was a swamp, too, and the 29th was a desert, so just crossing them was really was a real hurdle. The forest aside, I really just want to reject going to that swamp or the desert. Field dungeons are way too evil. Hey, wait a minute. What did you just say? What I said? What do you mean? The part about there being desert chests after the 26th floor. No, not that. No, then this? The part about the 26th and 27th floors being forest, so we couldn't really explore all of it. No, not that either. Then this? The part about the 28th floor being swamplands and the 29th being a desert, so it was a real hurdle passing through them. Yes, that. A swamp? A desert? Elrond is leaning forward aggressively in excitement. When I asked about it, it seemed that at the time when Elrond went in the dungeon, there still wasn't a swamp and a desert floor. It was all forest from the 25th to the 29th floor, and it took a month just to get through it all. So tell me all about the 26th floor and onwards. Elrond looked more serious than I'd ever seen him, so I ended up fixing my sitting position. And then I told him in as much detail as I could about the happenings and bosses from the 26th floor onward. Due to answering all the questions, Elrond interrupted with, it ended up taking quite a long time. Then, as for the dungeons drops, even I don't really know everything that I have, so I'd like to wait until tomorrow to come and sell everything. I understand I'll probably be kept busy with what you just told me, too, so I also like to settle that tomorrow. And just like that, I was finally allowed to leave the Adventurers Guild. The next day, it was announced that because of the dungeon changes from the 25th to the 29th floor, given enough time, the dungeon had been given a high difficulty rating. Damn it, hold on. Yeah, okay, that was fine, okay. Extra, tingling, spicy snacks for alcohol. Yo, Johannes, I greeted a younger solo adventurer that I ended up getting acquainted with in the guild. Johannes was a rare type of adventurer who specialized in collecting and harvesting and was E rank. He was still 21 years old and quite a young adventurer, but his knowledge on plants was extensive. It seemed like he wasn't a good fighter, and we ended up getting acquainted when we ran across Johannes getting chased by 3 orcs in the forest and saved him. He was pretty thin for an adventurer, but he was quite easy to talk to, and we got along well. Makoto, huh? What's up with that gloomy look? No, nothing. It's not nothing with that face. If you're worried about something, won't it feel better to get it off your chest? That might be right. It's not like I've been able to figure out a way to solve it. To tell you the truth, it turns out that Johannes was worried not about himself, but his parents. Johannes' parents were running a bar, but business wasn't exactly booming for them. Apparently people were saying that their place didn't have anything decent to eat. Just people that complain are everywhere, and if it was only that, I don't think my parents would have given it any mind. However, it seems that they're getting a lot less customers than before. My parents are both pretty depressed about it. I see, but snacks are pretty important when it comes to drinking alcohol. Is that right? But it's not like we serve anything weird at our place. The other bars and stuff all serve similar things. And that's what's bad. If it's all the same, then it doesn't matter where you go. Wasn't your place a little far away? Excuse me. Yes, it's along one of the streets feeding into the main street. It used to face the main street, but we ended up having to move 3 years ago since the owner's son was starting a store or something. Thought so. So? Aren't the main customers for bars adventurers? Yes. How many adventurers base themselves in your hometown? Johannes, not a lot of them, I think. There's a lot of adventurers that travel around given their jobs, and after all. I did just say, but if all the food is the same, then wouldn't you just go to the closest one? Surely they haven't been there their whole lives or anything and probably aren't too familiar with the streets. I think that they just end up going to all the easy-to-find places. Ah, that's how it is. You can't just be like everyone else. You gotta need to be better. Back to the earlier subject of snacks. If they had something good that no one else had, then I think they'd get more customers. I see, but that would mean coming up with a new snack to go with alcohol, wouldn't it? How would... I know, isn't Makoto really good at cooking? Please help us. Of course I won't ask you to do it for free. I'll pay 3 gold, but please help us. Please help. Hey, 3 gold? I know it's too little, but it's all I can give you. Johannes let his head droop as he bit his lip. No, that's not it. Isn't that money that you've worked hard to save up? Weren't you saving for a new plant encyclopedia? Johannes had said that he wanted a new plant encyclopedia in order to further his knowledge of plant life. Since all books were handwritten in this world, they were both rare and very expensive. Not only that, but since the book that Johannes wanted also had hand-drawn pictures, it was even more expensive than usual and would cost 5 gold according to him. It's fine, it's for my family. I can just start saving up money for my encyclopedia again. I'm really grateful to my parents. I've always admired adventurers. But in the end, I'm only a solo harvesting specialist. Everyone makes fun of me, but only my parents always encouraged me. I said, if that's your path as an adventurer, isn't that just fine? They even told me to follow it all the way through and just said, if it's about harvesting, just leave it to me. What great parents. Now I can't even refuse the money. Fine, I'll help, but you need to help too. Yes. Then let's go. Okay. I met up with Johannes and we were going to head to his parents' bar. My 3 familiars, I spent the... We're staying behind at the inn. Johannes' parents would just be scared if I brought Fel and the others along after all. Also, according to Johannes, with all the tables and chairs in their bar, there wouldn't be any space for Fel anyway. I got Phil and the others to reluctantly agree to stay behind by telling them I'd cook something good for dinner. Of course, I left a mountain of snack buns for them as a lunch and a snack. Would what I thought of yesterday be alright? Yesterday I spent the whole day accompanying Johannes thinking of different snacks that would pair well with alcohol, mainly ale, and trying them. Of course, it's easy to make, and most of all, it was that delicious. It even goes super well with ale. But using jalapeno in cooking, huh? I thought that'd only be good for making potions to prevent sleepiness. Jalapeno was a plant similar to chili pepper. From my perspective, it's strange that it hasn't been tried in cooking yet. I mean, it's super spicy. Isn't that what's great about it? As long as you manage the amount you use. While we were talking about that, we reached the bar that Johannes' parents were managing. It's here, Makoto. Hey, Pa, Ma, I bought that friend I had told you about before. In response to Johannes' voice from the back came a thin and stubborn-looking man aged past 40 who looked exactly how Johannes would look if he was older, and an old plump lady who looked the exact image of a plucky mother. Makoto, this is my mom and dad. Pa, Ma, Makoto's a high-ranking adventurer, so try not to be rude. I know already, you don't have to tell me, Sonny. I'm Johannes' father, sorry for mixing you up in our problems. Really, sorry about that. I'm Makoto, pleased to meet you. It was Johannes who asked me, so I'm happy to help. Johannes has been kind to me ever since I got here, and he's very knowledgeable about plants, so he's helped me a lot too. When I said that, Johannes' mother seemed a little impressed, saying, for a high-ranking adventurer to say that, you've been doing good work, haven't you? More importantly, we need to talk about the new dish. Makoto thought of something that we could put out immediately starting today. Today already? That's great! Okay, then I'll be teaching you now. He moved to the kitchen. I'd heard from Johannes that you serve grilled sausages here. Do you have any sausages? Yeah, we have some. I'll need that and some garlic and olive oil. Johannes' father provided what I asked for. Johannes, that. Johannes pulled out some dried jalapeno from his shoulder bag and handed it to me. What is that? Dried jalapeno. Or jalapeno. Or whatever. It seemed that Johannes' parents still didn't understand. Just like how Johannes had said, the use for this plant was basically just for anti-drowsiness potions, and knowledge of it wasn't very common. It's that thing, Ma, Pa, the thing used in anti-drowsiness potions. Anti-drowsiness potions? Ah, that thing. Dear, isn't that spicy thing? Or is that spicy thing? Wait, what are you going to do with that thing? That's spicy and nothing else? Johannes' parents looked at me mystified. I'm going to cook with it. When I said that, the two looked both startled and surprised. I get your feelings, but just wait. Watch, I ate it too, so I can guarantee the taste. It's really good and goes great with ale. Then I'll be making it. The process is really simple. First, slice the garlic thinly, remove the seeds from the dried jalapeno, and cut it into round slices and cut the sausages into pieces around 3 centimeters long. Then before heating the frying pan, coat it with olive oil and start heating after putting the garlic inside the pan. Once the garlic has turned brown and you can smell it, remove the garlic. At this point, add in the dried jalapenos and sausage pieces, and after sauteing for a bit, throw in some salt and let all the flavors mix. After that, just keep cooking until the sausages change colors, signifying that they're cooked. It's spicy garlic sauteed sausage. Try it. I served the dish to Johannes' parents. The two of them timidly put the food in their mouths. This is... Johannes, the ale. Me too. Johannes handed the two steins filled with ale. The two of them chugged down some ale after wolfing down some of the sausage. Oh yeah, it's good. Oh yeah, what is this? It's so good with the ale. Looking at these two, Johannes laughed, saying, didn't I tell you it's good? I also think it'd be a good idea to add some thinly sliced potatoes too. Also, this garlic flavor with a spicy kick goes well with most anything. Oh, now that you say it, it does, doesn't it? I'll have to try a bunch of stuff with this. Yes. The two of them were talking while wolfing down the dish and gulping their ale. Hey, don't you have to work after this? Thank you so much, Makoto. This is your reward. Johannes approached me and tried to hand me over the gold without being noticed by his excited parents. I don't need it. You keep it. This is an investment. You might find something that can be used in cooking like the jalapeno next time. You go study as much as you can about plants. Makoto, in exchange, give me some of that dried jalapeno too, okay? Sure. Several days later. Oh, Johannes, did you just come back from a request? Ah, Makoto, that's right. Thanks to you, Makoto, the store is doing great. They don't have enough jalapeno, so Dad told me to go get some. Isn't it great that you're flourishing? Don't forget my share, too. I know. Okay, then I have to go back to my dad. Sure, next time. Johannes' footsteps were light as he walked off toward his parents' store. Hey, what is jalapeno? Phil asked, having listened into my conversation with Johannes. It's got a spicy kick. A spicy kick, huh? That sounds nice. I asked that you use that flavoring for today's meal. A spicy kick, huh? It does sound nice. I agree with Phil. Phil and Dora-chan might want it, but won't Stewie hate it? It's fine sometimes. Good, then the spicy kick flavor is decided. Fine, I'll do that. Food with a spicy kick, huh? Now then, what should I make? And the afterword... Okay. I'm going to end this off here. I'll see you guys in the next video.